So we're going to need today some weights. We're going to start standing now. With weight work, you have a choice of what you're going to use. All I'd say is don't be scared to go down a weight or go up a weight if you feel you can do more or do less, or actually just lose the weights if you feel it's not working for you. So, as you know, my long-standing tennis elbow, which I haven't been saving for very I haven't really been looking after, I guess. So I might just do some stuff on very low weights for me today. So that means I'm using just 400 grams cans. I do have 3 kilo weights here, which is my only other option, which is a bit too heavy, but I might start with those. So the thing to remember when you're doing weight work, we're going to do shoulder weight work to begin with and then move on to the roller, is that we're trying not to work too heavy, but we're also not trying to go too light. We want to work stability muscles around the shoulders. And some of the muscle changes, the actual muscles have different strengths and different capabilities. So some of the stability muscles are much more endurance muscles. They twitch all the time and they work all the time to stabilize. But the bigger muscles, the big mobilizing muscles like your biceps and your triceps, are really sort of strong muscles which give us mobility and movement. So you may find that some of the exercises feel quite easy on a bicep because they're strong muscles, they can do a lot. And then you get onto some of the smaller muscles and you start going, oh, actually, I can't lift that weight anymore. So then you either lose the weight, do the actual movement, or go to a smaller weight if you have one. The other thing to say is to think about posture. So what we tend to do is always pull forward into our biceps because they're strong. Is you're always thinking about that protraction, so bringing your shoulder, sorry, retraction, bringing your shoulder blades together behind you, so you open up across your chest, and then the muscles are being worked in the correct position. So we're going to start, as I say, standing. I think that's all I need to say, and obviously I'll talk as we go through. I'm going to angle up slightly. So I'm going to start with my 3 kilos. They're going to be alongside me, but just to begin with, let's warm up the spine. So we're going to pop the weights on the mat and we're going to just start moving the spine first of all. So we're going to start doing some breaststroke. So standing breaststroke, we just lift the arms up to the ceiling. Let me just see if I can angle you up a little bit more. You can see my upper body, there we go. So the arms are up to the ceiling. And we're taking the arms down to the side and lifting the breastbone and just looking up to the ceiling and feed the arms back through. So you got nice and tall like you're taking off a top hat, and then lift the breastbone and open wide. So I do that from the side. So then lift up and then extension through that upper back, the thoracic spine, to come back in. Let's just do another 3. So always important to move our spines to begin with. Look at my rib cage. My ribs are staying down and in. And then as I lift up, I'm extending and opening up my abdominals, lengthening my abdominals to get that extension. Pelvis staying as still as you can get it here. We've got another one to go after this. And press through. So this is extension of our back. It's a sagittal plane movement. So we're going forwards and backwards. So if we go side bend, I'm going to do 6 of these. Again, equal weight through your feet. Arm is going to come up to the side, so we're getting a length through this side. We go over, coronal plane movement here, so we're moving through this plane. This time we're going to bring the arm up and then come back up to standing, arms come down. So by bringing that second arm up, we challenge these obliques on the side just to lift. So again, you could have a small weight if you were doing this exercise, but we're just warming up here. So what tends to happen here is people start to lift already. You want to think long line, lift over, lovely, and then lift, and then bringing yourself back in. So this is our second one to this side. We come through, we're going to do one more to each side. Let the head go as well, let the neck go. Make sure you're using the full spine, so you're going from the lumbar right through to the neck. And then lift. So keep it nice and simple, nice and easy, no big movements. Last one here. Up we go and over. Good, and back through to the middle. So let's just warm up through the scapula, protraction, retraction. So the arms are coming out in front. So again, weight evenly through your toes and your heels. We lift forward and pull the shoulder blades away from the spine. So that gliding, sliding action of the scapula. Then come back into the middle and retract the shoulder blades together without the rib cage moving. So as you lengthen away, the shoulder blades move away from the spine and draw back in. So we've got another 4. So again, we're just warming up through the shoulder girdle in our protraction, retraction. Try not to let the hands come together. Keep the width across the chest as you lengthen, and just bring your moment into the scapula and think, are they gliding around my ribs with everything else staying still, the rib cage staying super still. Let's do one last one. So protraction and retraction. So we're going to come back to a middle position and then rotate. So bring the arm out to the side and then rotate and just open up. Bring the arm back in and close back in. So I'm going to move away so I don't clash my knuckles. Arm comes out to the side and rotate and reach. Don't worry too much about the pelvis moving. You're trying to keep it a little bit still, but just feel the whole spine move. So these are my really simple standing warm-up exercises. You're moving your spine in each plane. So sagittal plane, forwards, backwards, coronal plane, cartwheel plane, and then this rotational transit plane. So you're sort of in this transition movement here. We've got one more to each side. Good stuff. Last one here. Okay. So we're going to start off, then some big shoulder circles just to release through. I'm going to start with my 3 kilos, and I can't guarantee how long I'm going to stay with them. If I'm honest, I've left my others at work. So I would normally be doing this on about a 2. So we're going to start with bicep curls. So feet hip distance apart again. And we are literally looking at our shoulder position to begin with. Are you rolled back? And then we're into a full bicep curl and down. As I said earlier, biceps are really happy to do big work, but they fatigue quickly. So you don't need to do many reps. So from the front here, we're going to the shoulder. So arm is long, it's lots of control. I'm going to do about 6 of each, maybe 8. Let's do 2 more. I'm going to take this to a smaller range and a little bit faster. So from the low down point, we just come up 1 and down, 2 and down. The bicep crosses 2 joints. So this is the elbow joint you're working. That's number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we start halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and your last one, 8. Arms come down. Okay, some shoulder extensions. This is gets a bit more tricky. Lift the arms up and back down. So from the side, there's no leaning. This is where you're starting to use stability muscles more. It's much harder. And press. We're going to add pronation of the arm. You come up, palms down. Turn to supination and come back down. You go up with palms up. Turn and back down. Palms down. Turn. Arms up. Lift. And down. We've got 2 more. So it's like a pendulum from your shoulder. And we go up to the top and down. Now I'm going to swap to my 400s because I know what's coming. So this time we're going to come up and open out wide and come back in and open up wide. So the minute that you're using deltoids, rotator cuff muscles, it gets hard. It's working the shoulder in a different position. This is number 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it here. Bicep curl from here. Pull in and lift out. In. Now, I'm tired from those 3 kilos. I can really feel these half kilos now. Drop them if you need to, because this is challenging. Or get some tins if you need to. Don't worry about changing over. This is challenging. So you've got a lot to work on in the next 2 weeks. Last couple. Great. Hold the bent arm. Pull in and release out. So this is deltoids. You're into shoulder retraction. Press. Squeeze. You really don't need a lot of weight to work these muscles. And press. And open. Press. Got another 2. You're going to be happy to get on your roller. Last one. Hold it. Up to the ceiling. Press. Use just without the weights if you need to. Press. And lift. Press. You can see why I've just gone for my cans. So I've got tomato and I've got cat food today. I press. This is number 4. 5. You can do it. 6. You should be feeling the burn. 7. And your last one. And release down. So I'm getting a sort of warmth around this shoulder joint, yeah? I would like to do some tricep work. So go to your small weight if you want to. You have an option here to be on a slight lean forward with a bend of the knees if you need to. So your bottom's sticking out. So it's like you've got water running from your back all the way down, or a laser pointing down. So in a straight line from your ear, shoulder to hip. Now, the issue there can be lower back. So if you want to do a little lunge and that's more comfortable, please do that. So we start with the arms behind. We're going to do a slow row. So we let the weights come down and then pull the weights back up. So we're working the back of the arm now. Great. So can you see I'm pulling my shoulder blades together like I've got elastic bands pulling from the floor. This is number 4. 5. And 6. One more here. Hold the elbows high. Push behind to tricep and back in. And 2. Pull your belly button in. 3. Making that corset work around you. 4. Keeping your posture. 5. We're going to then alternate after this set of 8. This is the 7th. So last one, hold it up. Come back in, slow row down, lift up, and tricep press behind. Press. So you see this in the gym, people on benches doing triceps. Again, they're strong muscles. I could probably do this on a little bit more weight. Great to have a little range of weights that you can work with, because the important thing is that we do work these muscles. We do keep strength training. We do build muscle, and you need to do that with a decent weight. So we've got 3 more. Alternating, keeping your form, retract, tricep, pull in, drop down. We've got 1 more exercise before we go on to the roller. Last one here. And this is a reverse pec fly. I'm going to move this way. We have the arms down low and we lift up and in. So feel your shoulder blades move behind you towards the spine. Again, you could do it without weights. You're opening the chest. It's number 4 and 5 and 6. Last 2, 7 and 8. Well done. Coming up to standing. Lose the weights, remember, but keep them handy. So we may use those on the roller. Let's, before we get onto the roller, just do a little bit of shoulder circles at the shoulders. So getting a little bit of movement, bit of release. And we'll do a little stretch out. And some big circles together. So you just lift and shrug. So release any tension and forwards. Good. So then we're going to bring one arm across your body and just stretch out through the shoulder. Hold it there for a little few seconds. Good, have a little shake out. And then the arm comes across, stretching out through tricep and shoulder, deltoid. Let's bring the arms behind. Just stretch out biceps at the front. So feel you're rolling your shoulder blades towards your spine as you stretch out. Okay, nicely done. So let's bring ourselves onto roll up. I'm going to bring my screen down. A little bit of space. So we're going to start very quickly laying on the roller. We're going right into this because of time. The roller is lengthwise on your mat. And when we lay on a roller, sometimes we've got to think about our head position. So if you have a cushion handy and you need to put cushions underneath your head, then please do. You have your tailbone right on the end of the roller. Much easier to do that than to shift when you're on the roller, and we just roll all the way down. If you've got those weights handy, that's great. But if you haven't brought them with you, don't worry. This stuff is challenging enough without weights. So you can always drop the weights if you wanted to, or if you look at the recording again, you could just bring some tins in so you've got them ready if you want. So the first thing we're going to do is just have a little roll side to side. Just feel that you're massaging your spine across the erector spinae muscles, the muscles that go up and down the spine. You're getting a little bit of massage, pushing them apart. The legs can be a little bit wider at the moment so that you have a bit of balance. You get used to that balance. You can do a little wiggle in the middle. So I'm really working into my sacroiliac joint a little bit as well. And also between my shoulder blades. Let's come back into a central position and just bring our hands onto our tummy. And we're just going to do some breath work here. So remember, one of your first basic principles of Pilates is breath. So as you breathe in, just feel how your belly lifts and you expand through the ribs. And then as you breathe out, draw the belly button down and feel the rib cage come in. So our diaphragmatic breathing, trying to release the tension through the shoulders. They've worked hard for you already today. And just bring some focus into your breath work. So the roller is lovely for this because the rib cage is free. It can move at the back. You don't have a mat restricting your ribs. So you can really feel if maybe your breath is even or symmetrical, or whether you have one side that's a little bit more restricted and can't move quite so well. And like any muscle groups, we have one side that maybe is a little bit longer and weaker, and one side that gets a little bit shorter and maybe a little bit stronger. So that's the same for intercostal muscles and where we direct our breath. So you're releasing your shoulders and neck here, not using any of the accessory muscles or minimally using your accessory muscles of breathing up in the top of the chest. Let's bring our hands above our shoulders if you're happy to. Again, you can keep wider feet if you want here. We're doing the protraction, retraction again, so reach up to the ceiling. Feel how your shoulder blades move away from the spine here. And then as you breathe out, hug the roller with your shoulder blades and retract back in. So you're pulling the shoulder blades towards the spine. So it's an in-breath to lift and an out-breath to retract. So we should have a neutral spine here. So a level pelvis, a little bit of a gap at the lower back. The chin gently dropping down towards the chest. And just feeling the gliding, sliding action of your shoulder blades on that breath pattern. So an in-breath to lift and out breath to drop back. This is number 5. And again, great place to do this on a roller because the scapula can move without any restriction, and you have a very lovely neutral spine. Let's do one last one here. So we're going to come back to the middle position and now open the hands out wide and feel how the chest opens. So you don't need to get your hands down to the floor, but if you can, that's fine. You need to be careful you don't jam into your ribs. So you don't lift the ribs up off the roller. I'm demonstrating how not to do it. And getting too much of a gap, you need to make sure your ribs can stay settled, but you're also not flexing your back and just tucking under. And now you're thinking about lengthening your fingers to the wall either side and getting that chest stretch. Now, if you wish, you can roll slightly to one side and get the increased stretch of the pecs on the opposite side. And I'm literally going about 1 inch and keep reaching the fingers and then go the other way. So it just intensifies that stretch. Gives you a great stretch of the front of the muscles, these strong pecs that do a lot of work for us. Back into the middle. We're going to give ourselves a hug. Let's take our arms a little bit higher. So you're in a Y shape. So you're reaching up to the corners of the room behind you. It's a different angle for the pecs. And here you notice I can't touch the floor now. So these fibers generally are a little bit shorter. So there are vertical and horizontal fibers in our pecs, and they run through that whole range. Some are more active and work harder, so everything here feels like it's stretching out through my armpit. Again, you may find that a little bit of a roll one way gives you more of a stretch. It doesn't work quite so well for me this way, but you explore it. Let's come back to the middle and give yourself another hug. We're then going to do rib cage placement, which is one of our basic principles. Again, we bring the hands down to the sides, onto the little fingers, and we're bringing the arms up to the shoulder level as you breathe in. Ribs stay down now. As you breathe out, reach behind you to the wall behind you. You're into a big lat stretch here, big stretch down through serratus, all your muscles down the side, and you're aiming just to reach and get length, not to touch the floor. You do a breath in. As you breathe out, you bring the arms all the way back down to the floor onto the little finger. So it's an in-breath to come up, secure through the rib cage, that's your anchor. Use your upper abs to hold the ribs down and then get the length through as you breathe out. You breathe in and hold it, and you may notice one side feels different to the other. And all the way back. Let's turn that into, if you've got space, some circles. So we breathe in and bring the arms up, breathe out to reach behind, and continue to circle all the way back down to the side. So an in-breath as you come up, out-breath to circle as you reach the fingers to the side and back down. In-breath to come up. We're going to do 4 of these in each direction and reach and circle wide. So really working through the shoulder girdle again and reach. This is our last one in this direction, hands down to the side. Before we do the other direction, we're going to do a little shrug of the shoulders up to your ears, elevation, and then push down to your feet with your fingertips. And again, up. And push down to your feet. We've got 4 of these. So this is a gliding, sliding action of your scapula again. As you reach up and push down, we've got 1 more. And then we'll go into the circles, being mindful of the ribs again. So this time we go out to the side, keep the rib cage down and bring the arm back down through. Again, checking your spine doesn't start to snake and move. Your rib cage stays steady. Reach, and last one here, and back down to the floor. Nicely done. So we're going to think about lower half now. So a little bit of imprint. So if you remember ribs and hips together, lower back lengthens and flattens, obliques come on. So this little bit of extra connection around your middle. Hands are on the floor. We're going to just practice a knee fold, making sure we can maintain that with our imprint. So we're going to bring the left leg up off the floor, and you should be feeling your abdominals fire a little bit here. You breathe out and bring the leg back down, maintain the imprint, and bring the right leg up. So we're just challenging, testing that we're in the right place, and then release the leg down. And release the ribs and hips away, release your imprint. So this time, let's do some reciprocal work. We come into the imprint, we bring one leg up, so let's bring the left leg up, and we bring the right arm, up to the ceiling. So you have right arm, left leg. As you breathe out, you open up. You breathe in, come back to the middle. So don't worry about the wobble. You should be working hard through those abdominals to maintain the imprint, and press. Good. Press. This is number 4. So we're going to do 2 sets of 8 on each side. This is without a weight. So you can increase the challenge by adding a weight. Press. So we're just warming up here. Last one here. Maintain the imprint, back into the middle. Leg comes down, arm comes down, and release the imprint away. Let's do the other side. Imprinting, ribs and hips. This is the important bit. The challenge are the levers, the leg and the arm. Leg comes up first to make sure you're safe. Bring the left arm up, and off we go again. Out breath, in breath. Maintain the central section. Maintain your cylinder in your middle with those obliques on, supporting the levers moving. Number 4, this is your basis of Pilates. Is how do I move these levers holding my anchor still? Good. We've got another 3. Now, you could just repeat this if you wish, if you don't have weights handy, or they're too heavy, or you're happy there. Or we bring the weights in. So again, 400-gram cans work really, really well. Let's start on the other side. So it's going to be left again. So we come into imprint. Left leg comes up. Bring your weight, careful that you hold onto that securely. And then open up. And this is where those Pilates balls work really well, the soft balls, just in case you do drop it. This is number 3. So by increasing weight, you're increasing abdominal work in neutral. It's a lovely, lovely exercise. This is how we walk. Arms and legs go opposition. And it's great to do some reciprocal. This is one more here. Press and in, and release the leg down. Last time, release your imprint. Regather that imprint back in. Right leg comes up. Left arm comes above, and off we go. Press. Squeeze your belly button down. Press. So predominantly, our transverse abdominis is working, our obliques are working each side. We're in a neutral spine, so there's no rectus abdominis here, no flexion of the spine, but we're really working multifidus, some of the spinal muscles as well. So it feels like a smallish exercise, but the roller really gives you instability. You've really got to work. Try not to clench your toes of that supporting leg. We've got one more. Well done. And then bring the leg down, bring the weight down, and release your imprint. So while we're here, we're going to do a little bit of a double knee fold. Just give a little wiggle around here. Just a little bit of a challenge. Again, you will need your imprint, so ribs and hips together. We float one leg up, we float the other leg up. Breathe in and hold, and breathe out to relax the legs down to the mat, keeping the imprint. Add some toe taps into your imprint first. One leg comes up, the other leg joins. We breathe in, hold. We're not tapping all the way to the floor though. We're just going to tap halfway, it's the hard bit. And then come back in. So small tap down, press, and back in. Try and maintain that abdominal connection, your lower back staying lengthened on the mat. You're just taking that toe a little bit further down. You can hear the shaking in my voice, I'm working hard. And you should be, this is challenging, press. making sure your lower back doesn't arch. We've got another one here. Good. And then the legs come down, maintain the imprint and release the ribs and hips away. So we're going to do a little hip roll here. So at bridge position, there's not a lot of movement because we're already quite a way off the floor. But it's a nice hip flexor stretch here. So we travel through imprint again. So ribs and hips come together. And then squeeze your bottom and lift up to your top position. The nice thing about it is you get the massage through your spine, you get the chest open. You breathe in and hold at the top, the knees are pushing away from you, and then you peel down, find every single vertebra on the roller as you massage your spine back down and release back to neutral. So I've got my little bit of a gap now. So I come into the imprinted position, then squeeze my bottom, lift up, energy from breastbone through to knees, big toe, little toe, heel pressing into the floor, breath in, hold, and squeeze your bottom to peel back down. So if you wanted to add on here, we could add some arms on. So you come all the way to the top. See if you can challenge by bringing the arms above your shoulders. And then peel back down. So if you want to maintain the arms there, you can come all the way to the top. This time you breathe in, take the arms behind you and reach. If you can hold them there as you come down and reach, or you can bring them down with you if you feel that's more comfortable, and then bring the hands above your shoulders again, drop the shoulder blades back. Let's do another 2. So you can go to any level, but you've got a balance challenge here, the glutes having to work. You press behind, reach, and peel back down. One last one here. All the way up. Lengthen, arms go behind, and peel back down. Lovely stuff. So let's come off the roller. So you need to gently come off one side as you come onto the floor. We're going to just pop the roller underneath our legs just to have a little moment. If you need a block, you can bring a block in. And we're just literally taking a moment because there's a lot of stimulation of your nerves here on the roller. And I just think it's worthwhile spending a couple of minutes just taking a moment to relax your hip flexors and release your spine down. And you'll feel it quite stimulated up your back because the roller is effectively massaging your spine and all those nerve roots that come out. And you can just take a moment here. It's lovely on your hips just to let them go. Remember, these are dominated muscles. These really do work hard for us, especially if our lower abs aren't maybe doing as much as they should. So we're going to just then, after that little rest, bring the feet onto the roller. I'm going to work some lower abs. So the hands are down by the side. Legs are glued together. So using your adductors, we're pushing out and controlling and using lower abdominals here. And then we're sucking back in. So I want you to really use that roller. Don't just fling it out. You've got to push down and press out and support through your lower abdominals. And then pull back in. So my spine is in neutral. As I push out, I'm trying to control the length of the legs and pull back in. And press. So we're going to add on a roll-up prep. And we're going to take it to a full roll-up, but you can stay at the prep if you wish. So the next time that the legs pull out, we nod the chin and flex up like a hockey stick. And that's your prep. You breathe in and hold and breathe out to come back. So it's like the 100 position in Pilates. So we pull the legs back in. We press away, nod the chin, flex over the breastbone and lift the arms an inch or 2 off the floor and lengthen looking at the toes. And pull back in. And press away. We've got another 2 here. So flex your spine. and pull back in. Last one, nod the chin. The legs, lower abs working, pull your belly button down and in. So stay there if you wish. We're going to bring the arms behind your head. So you either bring the hands above your shoulders as you breathe in, lengthen the arms, nod the chin and come to your prep. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out to pull back in. Think about rib cage placement as you take the arms behind. Or you roll up. You breathe in, nod the chin, breathe out, lengthen the legs away, roll up through, and reach. Breathe in. As you breathe out, peel back down. And then bend the legs back in. So stay with the prep if you wish. You just come to that point where you can just pick up as much as you can and then roll back in. Or we've got another 2 here, so you either then go to the full where you roll up through and lengthen and peel back. So super slow. Slow is pro here. You really are trying to work muscles in sequence. We've got one last one as you reach. So finishing, laying down on the mat here. We're just going to take the feet a little bit wider. We are going to go into some bridging with our feet on the roller. Let's take the block away under your head because you don't want to crunch your neck up. This becomes more challenging again. If this is too challenging on your hamstrings cramping, you just take your feet to the floor, bring your roller into your tailbone and do it on the floor. So we're going to be here. So a bridge is a lift rather than a peel. So we are thinking about just opening up the hips as you breathe out, pushing through the roller and lifting and squeezing up to the top. We breathe in at the top. As you breathe out, we come back down in. So you might want to bring the roller a little bit closer in. It becomes easier to put your forces down into the floor. So out breath as you pick up. In breath as you release. So we're going to do another 2. And I'm going to add on if you wish. So you could stay at this level, try and relax your toes, don't jam into the heels. Or you can add on with me. I'm going to take my roller a little bit further away to add some hamstring curls in. So you push up and then we pull in 1 and release. 2, well done. Release. 3, release and down to the floor. You will feel your hamstrings working. They are working hard. So alternate or do 1 hamstring curl in. We've got another 3 of whatever variety you want to do. Feet on the floor, feet on the roller, hamstrings, whichever you feel comfortable doing. So you lift up, pull in 1, pull in 2, pull in 3, and release back down. Good. 2 more. Lift up, pull in 1, pull in 2, pull in 3, and release down. Last one if you've got one in there, or have a rest. Lift up 1, press 1, 2, 3, and release down. Nicely done. Let's bring the leg in, have a little stretch out. You could lift the leg up a little bit, just give it a little wiggle. Nice. So just stretching out the glutes, lifting, nice and easy. Okay, as ever, I'm running out of time. We've got 2 minutes to do a little bit of spinal movement. So let's come up to sitting. We're going to turn around and have the roller underneath us. Some really simple extension flexion. It's always challenging when you have a little bit of standing work at the beginning to get through what you want to. Remember, we are interlacing our hands, thumbs on the base of the skull, ear to shoulder to hip in alignment in an inclined supine position. Elbows are just out so you can see them at 45 degrees, so they're not pulling in at the moment and they're not opening out. We're going into extension of thoracic. So I always say, think about where your breastbone is. The breastbone lifts up to the ceiling. It's a small movement. Remember, we don't have much extension here. We nod the chin and just come back to the start. So rib cage is important here. As you lift, careful your lower back doesn't extend and it's just your upper back. And then reconnect back in nice. And again, it's an in breath. Open up your elbows, chest open. Draw your elbows back and come back in. Another 3. Extend and open. Come back in and up. Last one here. In breath. Enjoy the reach and stretch. Hold this last one. Keep hold of your head with one hand and just reach the other arm out behind you. Stretch behind if you feel comfortable. If not, keep just doing what you're doing. Bring the hand back in, have a reach of the other arm. So your fascial line down your front getting stretched out. Hand comes in, nod the chin, back up. Into flexion now. This is more challenging. As you nod the chin, you're flexing up. Imagine you've got a dribble of water going down your spine through your legs. It doesn't pool in your belly button, so you're not collapsing. You want to feel that upper back flexing and then breathe in to peel back. So breathe out, nod the chin. Think about that water drawing down and it has to go right down through your legs. And then release back. So we're trying to stop our lower back from flexing as well. This is all thoracic. We've got another 3. And flex. So we could add on so much stuff to this, but because of time today, we're just moving that thoracic spine, the bit that gets stiff on people. And one more. I just want to do a little bit of rotation to finish. We come back to the middle. Now imagine your elbows are seesaws. We're going to come across to one side and rotate. And then back into the middle. So the elbows stay like a seesaw. The back elbow or the elbow going down doesn't go towards the back. It stays in line. So, or imagine you have a stripy t-shirt and the stripes stay the same. So we're just rotating. It works sort of on a roller, better on a ball maybe. And back to the middle, one more. So just getting that thoracic to move. Back in. Last one. And back in. Before we come to sitting, let's just do a little massage of our back, up and down. Don't go any lower than the rib, the bottom rib. It won't be nice. You can go a little bit side to side. So those lats getting a really good roll out. There's no right or wrong here. Have a little snaky wiggle. Nicely done. Let's come up to sitting, just to finish. So we're going to sit on the roller. And we're just going to use the roller for massaging the glutes a little bit. So you can lean to one side and just feel how you're working into glutes a little bit, into piriformis, into all of those areas. If you've got any tender points, you could just slow down a little bit and find that little bit of extra wiggle on it. So any massage, quads, we haven't really done much today of massage, but you can take the opportunity maybe to spend another 5 minutes doing the fronts of the legs, the backs of the legs. So you may find one side feels more tender than the other. We've worked the spine quite a lot today in extension and flexion and laying on the roller as well. So there's so much you can do with a roller. It's endless, really. So really useful piece of equipment to get out and to play around with. Okay, so let's bring ourselves into the middle. We're going to do a spine stretch forward. I'm going to just move myself around so that you can see me here. So my feet are hip distance apart, and nice and tall and straight. Hands are either side of the shins. I'm feeling the length through my body first of all. So sitting in this position is really important. If you feel that you're a bit grippy in your hips, you could just turn slightly outwards, like a sort of lateral rotation of your hips, so it gives a bit more space. And we're just going to nod the chin and just allow ourselves to flex and just reach down. So I'm not collapsing. I'm just trying to open up my spine and do a couple of nice big breaths into the back of the ribs, relax the shoulders. So really use the rib cage again to space out the ribs. And then on your next out breath, from the lower back, you restack back up, peel up and feel the height through to the top of your head. Lovely stuff. Okay. Let's just turn that off.